gozaimasu. And with the re-release quite recently of Criterion's full bells and whistles remastering of Paul Schrader's Mishima, A Life in 4 Chapters, I thought I'd offer a few comments about this film. It's a film that I think is perhaps its writer-director's greatest film. It's one that connects with his body of work in some very meaningful, very interesting ways. It's a personal film for Schrader, even though in some ways it's studiedly objective and ambivalent, and on the surface quite impersonal project. But it's a film that engages foursquare with its subject, I think on that subject's own terms, on the novelist, playwright, essayist, actor, bodybuilder, political commentator, and ultimately a kind of self-created myth, Mishima Yukio. This is a film that, as the title suggests, breaks up the author's life and looks at it through a kaleidoscopic lens of postmodern adaptation, sort of post-structural biography, or perhaps anti-biography, or perhaps meta-biography. It's a look at the author's life, or the author's idea of his life. It's a political thriller. It's a very stylized play. It's a experimental opera. And it's a fascinating and multifaceted film. It's a film that purports to look at the nature of art as life and life as art. The film, co-written with the director's brother, Leonard Schrader, who was married to a Japanese woman and who lived in Japan and knew the country very well, has a frame of reference that is the thriller portion of the film that I alluded to. It takes as its point of departure the final day in the life of Mishima Yukio, as he and select close members of his so-called Shield Society, the right-wing quasi-private army that Mishima assembled in order to try and restore the Emperor of Japan to imperial glory in the face of what he saw as the sort of capitalist bastardization of his country. As they storm the headquarters of the Japanese self-defense force, try and stage a coup, and ultimately, in lieu of being able to do that, effect a stage for Mishima's conceited and self-conscious committing of seppuku, or harakiri, ritual disembowelment. From this, we see in black and white Mishima's life story, albeit one framed through the very subjective lens of his first real novel, Confessions of a Mask, and adaptations of three other key Mishima novels, arranged chronologically from 1956, The Temple of the Golden Pavilion, Kinkakuji, through the early 60s, Kyoko's House, and the late 60s, the novel Runaway Horses, which itself is the story drawing on real life incidents from the 30s of a young fencing master trying to get together a group of students who would kill select members of the Japanese government and try and affect the kind of political change and restoration of the emperor that Mishima himself was seeking. These adaptations, these three adaptations, are affected through very, very stylized means, very theatrical means, where almost looking forward to something like Miike Takashi's Demon Pond, or perhaps more internationally well-known, something like Lars von Trier's Dogville and Mandalay, where you get a very obvious stage set with minimal props and very stylized, very colourful, very elaborate mise-en-scène. Whilst these different sections are very clearly delineated, there is, in addition to the different stylistic registers, on-screen text that breaks up the film into the 4 chapters of the title. They actually each feed or perhaps bleed into one another, so that there is a sense of slippage between aspects of life, aspects of art, and the sort of liminal space between the two. It's very, very ably played by Ogata Ken as Mishima Yukio, who appears in a number of reconstructions of things like film posters for the genre films that Mishima starred in. He gets the physicality when Mishima took up bodybuilding in order to overcome what he saw as his own sort of physical fallibility early in his life. And he gets the sort of correct mix of brash arrogance, sort of a dandyish self-conceit, and the sort of weakness, the sense of constantly striving for something that he was never sure he could achieve, the anxiety over that sort of festered beneath. And it's very well shot. It features one of Philip Glass's most identifiable and representative works, a very sort of operatic, very, in some ways, over the top score, but one that absolutely is keyed in to the sort of way that Mishima saw himself, as much as the way that the director and writers see him and project him. This all looks great in Criterion's release in 4K, and comes with a wealth of very useful extra features. So definitely give this a look. If you know Schrader's work, either as a screenwriter, films like Taxi Driver or Raging Bull, or as a director, American Gigolo and Light Sleeper, these are all films with male protagonists with whom Mishima shares something of a kinship. So if you know Schrader's work and haven't seen this, then certainly that's an omission on your part. that needs rectifying. And if not, if you have any interest in Mishima or in 20th century Japanese sociopolitics, then whilst not a comprehensive survey thereof, certainly offers a window into trying to understand something of the complex nature of the way that tradition and modernity sort of butted heads, if you like, certainly in the 1930s and in the 1960s. So if you know the film, or if you're just watching it, let me know. Comment down below. Like and subscribe, or don't. Follow me on X at AdamBingham01. Have a look at my website for blogs and reviews at culturaljapan.com. And I will talk to you very soon.